We all think we know the story. Jacob, a man on the run, is finally about to face his estranged, incredibly powerful, and let's be honest, justifiably angry twin brother Esau. It feels like a cinematic climax set in the desert. But what if that physical encounter was just the surface layer? What if the real battle, the one that defines not just Jacob's destiny, but the very architecture of our own souls, was happening on a completely different plane? Today, we're going to go way beyond the familiar story. Using the Zohar, the foundational text of Jewish mysticism, and the writings of the great Kabbalist, the Arizal, we are going to decode a profound secret about the inner world that you, yes, you, carry within you. So, we're about to take a journey inward. And here's our map. We'll start on that dramatic night of two camps out in the desert. From there, we'll unlock the central secret of your very own guardian angel protocols. Then we're going to zoom out to understand the cosmic operating system that powers all of reality itself. We'll see exactly how Jacob fits in as the central processor. Then we'll get super practical and explore how you can level up your reality. And finally, we will uncover the secret of true peace. This is going to be fascinating. Let's dive in. I want you to really picture this with me. The desert at night. The air is cold, it's thin, and it's absolutely still. The only sounds are the hiss and crackle of torchlight against a profound, endless darkness. Jacob's camp is this tiny little island of flickering life surrounded by a vast emptiness. And there's this trembling stillness in the air, a hum of pure dread and anticipation, because just beyond the horizon, moving through that darkness, his brother Esau is coming with 400 men. This is not a family reunion, this feels like an execution. Now, the whole story pivots on a single mysterious word. The verse says, "And Jacob sent Malachim ahead of him to his brother Esau." Okay, so Malachim can mean messengers, sure, but its primary and far more powerful meaning is angels. And this is where the Zohar just stops us in our tracks. It makes us pause, and it asks a simple but world-altering question, almost in a whisper. Who or what were these messengers, really? Were they just guys, flesh and blood? Or is Jacob dispatching forces from a reality that we can't even see? As Jacob prepares, the Torah tells us he sees a vision of angels, and he names the place Mahanaim, which literally means two camps. Now, the mystics explain this wasn't just a spot on a map. Jacob was being given a glimpse into spiritual reality itself. He saw two distinct angelic encampments forming around him. On his right, an encampment of pure light, of benevolence, a force of connection and kindness. And on his left, a camp of awesome, formidable, and frankly, terrifying power. Suddenly, the battleground just shifted from the physical desert sand to the very fabric of reality. But here's the thing. What if those two camps Jacob saw in the desert weren't just out there? What if they were a mirror, an external reflection of a battle happening right now inside of you? This right here is the core secret, the sod of our entire explainer. We're moving from the outer battle to the inner one, the one that every single one of us is fighting, every single day. So who are these two angels that form these camps on our right and our left? Well, the Kabbalists, especially the Arizal, reveal something absolutely staggering. They are the two primary forces hardwired into the human soul. The Yetzer HaTov, our inclination for good, and the Yetzer Hara, our inclination for what we often call evil. Now hold on, because this is a radical idea. We're taught to think of our evil inclination as some kind of enemy we have to defeat. But the Kabbalists say no, they aren't enemies to be vanquished. They are divinely appointed companion forces, guardian angels in their own right, assigned to us at birth. One stands to our right, the other to our left. The Yetzer HaTov, that's the force on our right. It's the voice of our higher self, the part of us that pulls us toward empathy, connection, spirituality, doing the right thing. The Yetzer Hara on our left is the force of raw, unbridled self-interest. It's our drive for survival, for pleasure, for power, for physical gratification. And here is the absolute key. It is not inherently evil. It's just raw, untamed, immensely powerful energy. And the Zohar says one is to our right, the other to our left, a perfect mirror of those two camps Jacob saw in the desert. Let's use a modern analogy to make this crystal clear. Think of your soul as a really sophisticated operating system. The Yetzer Hara is like a pre-installed, incredibly powerful process that's constantly running hostile pressure tests. It's always looking for vulnerabilities, trying to breach your ethical firewall and hijack system resources for its own raw functions. The Yetzer HaTov, then, is the trusted guardian protocol. It's the system's antivirus and ethical diagnostic tool, constantly reminding the system of its core purpose, its connection to the divine mainframe. So here's the crucial point. A master user, a spiritual master like Jacob, doesn't try to delete the hostile process. You can't. It would crash the entire system. Instead, he learns to tame it, to reprogram it, to harness its raw processing power and integrate it, turning it into its most powerful, holy, and deployable asset. And this brings us to the beautiful alchemical goal of this whole process. The Arizal, in his book Etz Chaim, The Tree of Life, says the goal isn't to destroy the Yetzer Hara. It's for the Yetzer Hatov, the good inclination, to sweeten the bitterness of the Yetzer Hara. The ultimate aim is to, and just listen to the power of this phrase from the mystical texts, transform the demon back into an angel. Because at its root, the Yetzer Hara is also a holy angel, just one whose job is to present us with raw, untamed power. When we refine it, it returns to its pristine, angelic state. It's incredible. Okay, so we've seen this incredible drama playing out inside the human soul. But why? Why is our inner world structured this way? To understand that, we need to zoom out, because this inner battle isn't random. It's a perfect microcosm of the divine operating system that powers all of reality itself. Let's take a look at the blueprint. At the very heart of Kabbalah is this idea that creation isn't just a single event that happened once. It's a continuous flow of divine energy. And this energy flows through 10 fundamental qualities or vessels called the Sephirot. You can think of them as the primary colors of God's light, or the source code of creation, the very attributes through which an infinite God interacts with our finite world. And crucially, they are not just some random list. They are elegantly organized into a structure of 3 primary columns, and that is the absolute key to understanding everything. Just look at how this cosmic blueprint maps perfectly onto our story. On the right, you see the column of Chesed. That's pure, expansive kindness, giving without any limit, and it's personified by Abraham. Its symbolic color is white. Then on the far left, you have its exact opposite force, Gevurah. That's discipline, severity, contraction, personified by Isaac, and in its raw, untamed form by Esau. Its color is red, the color of judgment and power. And what, or who, stands in the middle, creating balance? That's the column of Tiferet, which means harmony and truth, and its human archetype is Jacob. He is literally born into the position of the great synthesizer. Are you seeing the pattern here? 2 camps of angels, 2 inner inclinations, 2 primary columns of cosmic energy. The entire system of creation is built on this dynamic tension between the right and the left, between kindness and judgment, between expansion and contraction. This duality is the very engine that drives all of reality. So now that we see the cosmic blueprint, let's zoom right back in on Jacob. Because in this grand system, he's not just another character in the story. He is the living embodiment of that central balancing principle. He is the system's central processor. The Hebrew word for that central sephirah is tiferet. It translates as beauty, harmony, or truth. And why? Well, think about it in your own life. True beauty isn't just endless softness or harsh rigidity, is it? It's about the perfect balance between the two. That's Tiferet. It's the great synthesizer. It's like the central bolt that takes the pure, unrestrained energy of Chesed from the right and the intense, focused power of Gevurah from the left, and just weaves them together into a balanced, functional, and beautiful reality. This wasn't some accident of birth for him. This was his entire spiritual mission. As the grandson of Abraham, the icon of Chesed, and the son of Isaac, the icon of Gevurah, his job was to integrate these 2 massive opposing legacies inside his own soul. And by achieving this inner balance, by becoming the personification of Tiferet, he becomes the master of the system. He becomes the root admin, with the authority to command both the forces of the right camp and the forces of the left camp. So when Jacob sends Malachim, he is literally dispatching the spiritual forces that he now commands. And this isn't just a story about one guy from long ago. The Zohar explains that the verse in Psalms, "For he will command his angels for you to guard you in all your ways," is not just a nice, poetic promise. It's a description of spiritual physics. It's a law of the universe. It means that when you achieve a state of inner balance, you don't just feel better, you literally generate a coherent spiritual field around you. Your inner state creates your outer angelic reality. Okay, so this has been a really deep dive into mystical theory, but the most important question is, how does this apply to us right now in our messy, complicated lives? Let's get practical. I'm going to offer 2 models for how you can start putting these ideas into practice today. All right, for all the gamers out there, or hey, if you're explaining this to your kids, think of your life as the ultimate RPG. Your most important core stat isn't strength or intelligence, it's Tiferet, your balance stat. You've got 2 mana pools you have to manage, Chesed, which is your white mana for acts of kindness and healing, and Gevura, your red mana for discipline and putting out damage. You also have 2 companion characters with you at all times, your Yetzer Tov, who acts as your healer and support class, and your Yetzer Hara, a chaotic neutral berserker with massive damage potential but 0 allegiance. The secret mission of the whole game is not to kill the berserker, but to complete the quests that tame him, which unlocks him as your most powerful ally. And when you master this balance, you unlock a special skill, Summon Angels, which is a protective force field you generate through your high balance stat.
Now, for a more sophisticated framework, let's look at the cosmic engineering version. The system of reality is a trinary energetic network, a positive pole of expansion on the right, a negative pole of contraction on the left, and a synthesizer in the center. Your function as a conscious human being is to act as that central processor, consciously integrating these opposing energies within yourself. So how do you do that? The protocols for this are the mitzvot, the commandments. They are brilliantly designed spiritual technologies that take the raw impulse from the left column, our desires, our ambitions, and they channel them through the ethical and spiritual structure of the right column. And what's the result? You recalibrate your personal energy field. You begin to generate coherent, stable, protective wave patterns. And what are those wave patterns called in the language of the Torah? Malachim, angels.
So, armed with this whole new understanding, let's go back to where we started, to Jacob, alone in the desert, having wrestled not just with an angel, but with the very core of his own being. What was the ultimate outcome of that struggle? You see, Jacob's ultimate victory wasn't just surviving the encounter with Esau. That was just the external symptom. His real victory was achieving a state of internal wholeness. The Torah tells us he arrived at the city of Shechem, Shalem, whole, complete. And it's only after this internal integration, this wrestling match with the angel of Esau, which was really the angel of his own untamed Gevura, that his name is changed to Yisrael, Israel. He could only wrestle successfully with the divine and the human because he first won the battle inside himself. And this is the secret that has been waiting for you this entire time. Your life, right now, is your Mahanim. It is your 2 camps. You have the forces of loving kindness on your right and the forces of raw power on your left, and you are standing right in the center. The entire cosmic drama is playing out inside of you, and the power to balance them, to harmonize them, and to dispatch those forces for good in the world, well, that power has been in your hands all along. And so the question for you to take into your day, into your week, is this. Which inclination are you giving command to? Are you letting the hostile pressure test run wild, hijacking your system for its own impulsive ends? Or are you engaging your guardian protocol, consciously working to synthesize these incredible powers you've been given, and in doing so becoming the master of your own reality? Thank you for joining us for this complete journey through the Pardes. We hope these ancient truths help you and your family improve your own dimensions this week. If you enjoyed this full chapter deep dive, please like, subscribe, and share which part of the journey touched your soul in the comments. We'll see you in the next chapter.